What's up? All right. We're getting set up.
We are live.
Yeah, we're already up. We're already on.
Good morning.
We are on.
Good morning.
Good morning. Rise and shine. It is 5 a.m. Holly and Deanna, your CLT Realtor moms, coming to you again, day 26. Can you believe it? Can y'all believe it? Day 26.
We have a Charlotte Business Journal
update.
Yeah, nothing super exciting in this week's issue. They touched a little bit on Michael Jordan selling some of his ownership at the Hornets. They talking about a lot of different awards and getting on the book of lists. But something that stood out to me, probably because I had a new construction closing yesterday, is
we love closing day.
All the new construction
Payday
buildings and everything that's going on with building homes. A lot of people don't know that realtors can help with new construction. So a lot of times, since the salespeople are so wonderful in the model homes, buyers, consumers go in there unrepresented and don't realize the benefits that a realtor can bring to the process, and that sales rep is really representing the best interest of the builder, not the buyer. So if you are thinking about building new construction and not just purchasing a resale home, then please reach out to your most favorite realtor and have them assist you along the process.
Which is us, of course.
Hopefully.
704-909-9276.
So what'd you give them? Is that your number?
That is my phone number. You want to give them your number.
So what's happening? There's actually been a little bit of slowdown in new builds from this time, from the first quarter this year versus last year. A slight slowdown. The whole country was affected, but in the third quarter, we've been growing, and they anticipate in the fourth quarter that we'll even out and be on pace with what was done last year. And then projected for 2020, based on permits pulled, we should be pretty flat as far as growth in new construction. So just to touch on it, I was looking at the top 25.
What do you mean just as flat?
Meaning the same amount of permits pulled and homes built. Not more, not less. So
just when you say flat, I think flatline, like dead.
Didn't say the line part. So single family home builders in Mecklenburg County, the top 25. I was reading this list, and I have built with 20 of these builders, helping clients. So over the years, really enjoy the process of new construction and being involved in all the steps. And then plus we tore down our house and built it new, so we really understand what goes into every day of
the stress and the decision making. And honestly, you have a really good eye for things that go together. So I mean, I've heard that from other clients.
Yeah.
So even if you go into new construction and they're like, choose a granite or marble, or
I love going to the design center appointments if that's an option.
Yeah, being able to go in and be like, well, it's not really going to look all that great with the floors that you chose and the handles that you chose for the cabinets and the color, and you know, being able to choose, especially if you work on the front with choosing the elevation of the house and moving through all those little pieces.
Yeah, and I think I pride myself on helping my clients think through the process and how they're going to live in it. You know, sometimes clients don't think about, making sure they wire for a ceiling fan in the guest bedroom because their mind is focused on just their bedroom. But if they don't wire for it, then they don't have an outlet for it. I mean, they don't have a switch for it. They don't have the reinforced framing for it. And so it's not going to be a simple switch out later.
Yeah.
You know, instead I encourage them, if they think they need a ceiling fan, especially out on like a screen porch where they might not think about it because they haven't had one, to go ahead and do at least the pre-wire. You don't necessarily need to purchase the fan also with the builder because there's so many options of fans and they can be more affordable outside of that building process and have a remote even, and give you more choices with looks. So there's a lot of little things that I like to think about in making sure they maximize their return of what they're getting and minimize the expense that they're putting into it. And, you know, that appointment where we're building out the house, you know, I love to do with the sales agents and my clients, and it can take, you know, an hour to 3 hours because we are going throughout each little item of what's important to add. Another example might be the backsplash. So there, we might add it in because we want one, but then we get to the design center and we don't like any of the options. So instead of paying a ton of money to have that put in, we can take it out. Now that brings down the contract price, and they can add one in later when they're ready.
So out of these 20 builders, who do you feel like is the most receptive to having a realtor help the client?
I do find
all of them, most of them.
I would say I do find that most sales reps welcome that realtor partnership because it also takes a little stress off of them. Our commission is already built into the sales process, which I think is very important to note. It's not the consumer's responsibility.
So they're not going to save any money.
The consumer's not going to save any money. Typically they, actually it's the alternative. They spend more money and they don't necessarily get what they want, and they have more stress because they don't have somebody advocating for them directly. So I feel like most builders welcome realtors. A lot of them do realtor appreciation parties if you sold with them, or if you sell with them multiple times, they encourage realtors to sell with them. There is one builder in the area that it compensates realtors the least. So, and I've had a few closings with them, but those are the products that my clients were looking for, so that's what we helped them purchase. But Lennar Corp is kind of leading the way in Mecklenburg County, ranked by the value and number of permits that they pulled in 2018 with 655. So
homes?
Yeah, homes.
Holy
655. And I just was kind of taken back by that number. That's a lot of homes. It is spread across 3 communities, but it's almost 146 million just in the permitting. So then think about the price of the home. You know, Lennar, 300,000-400,000. That's a lot of money. But there were 3,221 permits granted among these top 25 in 2018. So that's a lot, valued over 600 million. And that's a little bit of a
$600 million.
So it's pretty
Charlotte's still growing.
Charlotte is still growing. New construction, you know, a lot of that new construction ramped up in 2018 because there was a shortage of resale.
Right.
So the builders were like, all right, here we go again. And just
the material costs went up.
Material costs went up.
So buying
prices went up.
Home prices, well, they've consistently been going up. But buying a property and trying to flip it or renovate it when the costs were more expensive, that's when these builders swooped in and said, wait a minute, it's less expensive for me to buy land, build a brand new house, than it is for us to go in and purchase properties that are not in the best condition and try to rehab them.
Yeah. Another thing to note is that with new construction, unless you find like a spec home that's already been started, or maybe a home, an inventory home, like a builder was building it, and then the buyer, something happened, so it's still on the market. Unless you find one of those two, and those two are usually really great deals because the builder doesn't want to keep homes, they want to sell them. Then you're looking at least a 3-month build out for new construction. And most builders always have some sort of incentive going on to build with them. They might have an additional incentive if you use their preferred lender partners. But that's something that if you see, stop, if you're out riding about and you stop in a new home sales office and you're seeing things you like and hearing things you like, again, connect with your realtor. Make sure you have somebody advocating for you, and then know that those promotions don't have to stay and don't have to stick around. A lot of times, every month they change. When sales are going really well, those promotions are very minimal. As we get in towards this fourth quarter, you'll see sales promotions kind of become more attractive because they want to get things off the books by the end of the year.
Well, especially if they've got, what did you say? How many millions of dollars total this was?
$6 million over there.
So,
so just keep that in mind if you're seeing these promotions, that you might want to go ahead and take action. If you're thinking, I want some new construction, I want to build what I want, I don't want anybody else's cooties in there, I want just what I want, and I want it the way I want it, the new construction might be the route for you. Another great thing about it is usually by the time you contract, which is at the beginning, and you put your deposit down to reserve your lot that you're going to build on, and they get started, and it can take 3 to 6 to 7 months to build, your home is actually worth more by the time it's completed. And, so there's some appreciation there and equity put into the home before it's even finished, which is really great because, again, the homes are continuing to appreciate. The promotions that were really good might be less now, and the builders are never going to want to sabotage their pricing. So usually it just continues to move up. So by the time you close, you have extra equity. It's giving you some time to save some money, to get your packing squared away, and to just get excited about getting into new construction. So.
Okay. There was one thing that I thought was really cool in this other paper. I closed it a second ago, so let me open it back up, see if I can find. It's not a whole article. It was just a little ad that was basically, you know how last week we were talking about all the breweries. Why did I close the paper? Oh, there's an ad on every page. The breweries, and I thought this was really cool that the largest brewery in Charlotte that we mentioned last week is now offering different types of classes at the brewery. So of course they're trying to say, come in. Ay, ay, ay. What did I do with it? Well, don't worry, it's going to be in here. Upcoming events. This is what was really cool. Well, this is here we go. Old Mecklenburg Brewery. This is what we were talking about. They're having a panel for holistic healing and wellness as part of their Next Gen series, and it said that young professionals born between 1980 and 1995.
Can't go.
I know. Well, that's what I thought was really interesting. Like they're getting down to like the age, the year that these youngins were born.
I'm in
that. I get to go. who want a sample of the latest seasonal brew and to learn from young professionals engaged in their community. I thought that was really awesome because when I was coming out of college, I did have Haley, obviously, but I felt like there was nowhere to go to connect with other young professionals and groups without joining like BNI groups and, you know, all that like super stuffy, I don't even know. So here, Old Mecklenburg Brewery again is offering these different panels that come in. So if you're interested, you can check out hashtag NextGenCLT and see what events they've got going on. Next Gen CLT is a print, digital, and event series presented by the Charlotte Business Journal and Old Mecklenburg Brewery.
So go drink beer while learning about holistic healing and wellness.
Well, holistic healing and wellness was just one of the series. This says it includes exclusive interviews, how-to articles, and content for and about millennials in business at play and supporting the causes that they love. Oh, yeah. I mean, you know, when you talk about clients and how to stay sort of ahead, of course, this was at the very back of the Business Journal, which is why I had to take a minute to find it, but I thought that was really, really cool. So you can go to charlottebusinessjournal.com, look at the events, and this one in particular is the hashtag NextGenCLT series. And they've got all sorts of stuff. I'd like to go to some of their how-to classes.
All right. Well, you go to their how-to, and I'll continue to help all of our clients with their new home construction needs.
Okay.
All right. Y'all make it a wonderful day, and go be great.